no AOPS test from last week. And as we look at it, we see that we're working on linear equations. And we want to graph the following features. So if the slope is 3, that means let's find where the y-intercept is. The y-intercept means it's at 0, minus 3. So when x is 0, 3, and then we're going to go up 3, 1, 2, 3 over 1, up 3 over 1, up 3 over 1. And y-intercept is 5. That means we go through the point 0, 5. So we go over to here, and the slope is minus 3. So we're going to go down 3 over 1, down 3 over 1. What is the slope of this line? Well, this is slope-intercept form. It's easier to see if you write it like this, but there's the slope. There's the intercept. That means that I'm going up 1 and over 4, so 1/4, and I'm going through the y-intercept, the y-axis. In other words, when x is 0, so 1/4 times 0 plus 3 equals 3. I go through this point, 0, 3. Put a 0 in, 3 comes out. What's the y-intercept? Okay, so the y-intercept, right? So that's what we add or subtract, so it's 4 here. So find the slope of this line. So you have to do a little work here. So you say, well, I've got minus 3x plus 3y equals minus 12. So you could just look at this and say, oh, it's 1 over 1, up 1, over 1, up 1, over 1. Right? You could graph it. But you can also say, well, I'm going to get it into that form that I'm really comfortable with. So I say I have 3y equals 3x minus 12, and I divide by everything by 3. So I say, oh, the equation in standard form, the minus 3x plus 3y, is equivalent to, right, I can rearrange it into x minus 4. Okay. And so then I say, oh, there's the slope. Slope is 1. How about this one? Find the y-intercept of this one. Well, you know, whether the 2x is on the left or right, there's the intercept, the minus 4. Graph this line. So we see that when you put in a 0, so 3/5 times 0 minus 3 equals minus 3. So I put a 0 in for x, I get a minus 3 out, and there it is. There's the point 0 minus 3. Okay, and then the slope is 3/5, so I go up 3 for every 5 over, and I can find the other points. Okay, so in this one, I put in a 0 here, I get a minus 2 out, so there's my point, 0 minus 2, and I go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. So in other words, if I work an extra hour, you give me $2. Okay, I work an hour, I give 2. So you might think of it this way, right? Work that extra hour, get 2. Okay, so what's the slope of this line? Okay, so we have 2 this way. The way you do that, okay, so you can do 5 minus 9 over x2 minus 1. You can do it that way, so you get minus 4 over 4 equals minus 1. So you can definitely do it that way. But the way I like to do it, the way that's easier for me is I just write the points over each other, 7, 5. So my x was plus 4. So the hard part is to remember that the change in x goes at the bottom. Change in y was minus 4, and there you go. Minus 4 over 4 minus 1. Okay. Number 10, so I put minus 10, minus 8, minus 9, minus, I say, oh, wait a minute, y is not changing, so y is 0. It doesn't really matter what's down here, so it turns out it's 1, but this will be a slope of 0. Okay, so it's not going up or down, doesn't matter how I change x. So now, look at 11, and so for this one, if you could even draw it out real quick, and you say, I go through 0, 0, and 0, 5. Okay. So it's this vertical line here, right? So vertical line, I'm not going to the right at all. So all I'm doing is that. So that's the line x equals 0. That's undefined. Okay, so here's one. You can imagine x plus y equals 18. So this would be like Mr. Derek, Mr. Tom, TK, have an election, 18 people get to vote. In other words, you say, well, it could be 18 people voted and 0, so the x-intercept is 0. Or you could say nobody voted for x, 18 people voted for y, and any combination in between. How about this one? Okay, so to get the y-intercept, you say x is 0 minus 2y equals 28. So y equals minus 14. So minus 14 times minus 2 is 28. You could also say, well, let's find out what the x-intercept is. That'll be when y is 0. So 4x minus 2 times 0 equals 28. 4x equals 28. X equals 7. Okay, and there's the x-intercept. Okay, so then you can carry on and say, well, what are the x and y intercepts from this? And let's find the equation. So we look at this and say minus 8x plus 4 times 0 equals 24. Okay, so minus 8 times minus 3. So x equals minus 3 when y is 0. So you have minus 3, 0 is a point we're looking for. Okay, so you look and say, oh, well, this is easy, right? So the only ones that go through minus 3, 0 is C. So you already know what the answer is, but let's double check. So what if x is 0? So minus 8 times 0 plus 4y equals 24. So divide by 4, y equals 6. Okay, so we're also looking for the point 0, 6. Well, that's up there, right? So there we go. So let's see. And looks like our last one here. Which of the following equations has this? Okay, so we look and we say, well, this goes through 0, 5, and it goes through minus 4, 0. Okay. And so, for example, you say minus 4 plus 8 times 0 does not equal 40. So it can't be A. Now, that point does work for B, but then you try the other point for B, 0, 5. Okay, so minus 10 times 0 plus 5 does not equal 40, so it can't be that one. And you say, well, what about the third one? So minus 10 times minus 4 equals 40, so that works for the y-intercept, for the x-intercept. Now let's try the y-intercept. So minus 10 times 0 plus 8 times 5, that equals 40. Exactly. Okay, so it must be that one.